Alrighty guys, so welcome back to yet another GR Corolla video. This is officially the first video of the West Coast trip. We left Chicagoland, Grid Life, last night. You guys would have seen it in the video from yesterday. And this morning we woke up in Iowa City and we drove all the way out to Denver, Colorado. It's the longest leg on our trip. We drove for about 12 hours today. You might be thinking to yourself, man, are they starting this video at dawn? Nope, we're starting this video at dusk. Because we were driving, we were rocking with the flow, Adam had to edit the video, we had to upload the video. We just kind of didn't really film much today because we were in the car literally from 8 a.m. till 6 or 8 p.m. And for today's video, I thought we would kind of just walk you around, show you guys a couple of the parts that we've installed on the GR Corolla since you guys kind of have last saw it. You saw a lot of them throughout the videos over the past weekend, but I just wanted to highlight them quickly because we worked with a lot of cool companies on a lot of cool parts, and I wanted to highlight them in this video. But first of all, I want to kind of show you guys what we're doing and the lengths we're going to. We actually have the satellite dish for the Starlink sitting on top of a tire. The tire insulates the bounces on the highway so that we're actually able to have the satellite sit there, and it gets enough reception sitting in the bed of the truck facing north. Luckily we're driving east to west the entire time, so that side of the truck was basically facing north the entire day. So the Starlink got enough service. It took only honestly maybe an hour and a half to upload maybe.
Honestly, I thought it was like maybe 3 hours because it kept buffering.
Yeah, there was a lot of buffering. But even 3 hours, honestly.
Not bad.
It was, I was just happy that I did it. Because without this stuff, we would be screwed. But walking back here, it's gonna be a little bit windy. It's gonna be a little bit windy because we are just kind of, you know, it's Denver, it's always windy here. But I wanted to show you guys, we have this absolutely badass trailer that we are using for this trip, and super fortunate to hit this one up. But one of the coolest parts, it's got LED lights on the inside and it's all powered by a dang key fob, bro. So the GR Corolla is here, it's safe, and it is freaking badass. We haven't really talked about the car a lot, right? We talked about the car braking, we talked about track conditions and stuff, but we haven't talked about the car. So just kind of going over the weekend, everything worked perfectly on the car except for minor hiccups like the intercooler boot popping off and stuff like overheating. Oil temp overheating, we knew that because we need an oil cooler. Coolant temp, that was purely our fault. We should have rebled the cooling system. That one is on us 100%. And then the intercooler boot, we got to do better. We got to figure out a way to get that clamp to be really clamped on there, or readjust and kind of weld something on the compressor housing of the turbo. But we'll fix all that stuff later this week when we get to LA. And stay tuned for those videos, right? All right, daily videos coming. Don't worry. This is what, day number 4? I don't even remember.
Yeah,
4?
This is 4.
This is 4. I get them all messed up in my head. Today we're going to touch on a couple of the new parts that we have. Alrighty. So the first new part that we are talking about today is the steering wheel from Zestech. Now you guys will see the actual steering wheel itself is an OMP steering wheel, but Zestech got us the carbon fiber and the lights and the dials, and this thing is absolutely sick. I gotta tell you, this is one of the coolest modifications that we've made, because so many people come up to the car and they're like, I love the wrap, I love this, I love that. And then they look on the interior and they see this thing and they're like, damn, this thing's legit. So right now, I gotta be honest with you guys, because our car is a little bit more custom, these buttons don't really do much. We have a couple of the buttons set up to do like rolling anti-lag and a couple of map switching things, but we don't have OEM kind of usability. That stuff is coming soon. I was talking with the guys from Limit Plus One, and we were working on kind of how are they going to get this to be a supplier for them, and how are the hubs going to work, how is the wiring going to work. They are working diligently to try and make it work. There's a part on the NRG hub for the GR Corolla that we kind of they have to mill out a little bit so it makes more room for the wiring to fit through. So they are working on it. Trust me, I know I've gotten a lot of messages about it. We actually run ours just through a CAN bus setup. It's connected through the Haltech dash. It's powered by the dash, which is powered by the battery. It's a complicated setup, and that's kind of why we don't have a lot of usability on the steering wheel. The dials on the bottom down here, we'll be able to have these with map switching and maybe like anti-lag, something like that. It'd be super sick. One day, hopefully in the future, maybe towards the end of October, because we have another special modification that'll kind of make a lot of that stuff easier. And they sent us out a hub adapter for our driving sim. So when we get home, you know we're gonna have to throw this thing on there and make a video about it. But moving on, we have to go to the front of the car.
She's mad.
Okay, moving back onto the car. One of the big things that we changed on the front end was this Verus splitter. So we have it mounted up to a custom front crash bar that we had to make. Because the STM intercooler is too big for the stock crash bar, we had to make a custom one and then build brackets off of the crash bar to support the front lip. So the Verus front splitter, everything bolted up really good. The fitment was awesome, and it didn't really take that much time to install. The real time was just because we had a custom front crash bar, but if you have a stock one, it fits perfectly. With that, we also have the matching rear diffuser. We have the Verus rear splitter kit as well. So we have just the rear splitter kit. We don't have the side skirts or the rear spats. Kevin from Limit Plus One, he was like kind of making fun of us when we were there because the car kind of looks a little bit weird with the wide front splitter and no side skirts and rear spats. But once we got the new wheels on, which we'll talk about kind of later on this week, the car really got widened out and it looks freaking sweet now. Definitely a really nice product. We did have a little bit of a problem with it fitting with the MBRP muffler. It probably is just the way that we modified the muffler to fit with the exhaust coming off the downpipe and stuff, because we did a lot of modification there. But you might have to trim a little bit of the splitter, but nothing crazy. Another thing we added in the rear is these super awesome Tom's Racing carbon fiber, like, I don't even know what you would call this, like a carbon fiber extension piece off the rear fender. I think they really do a lot for kind of hiding the wrap line from the black vinyl to the white of the GR Corolla, but then they also kind of give this nice flare right here. Super, super nice piece, like awesome piece. But these ones did fit up pretty good. We actually siliconed them on. They come with 3M tape, but because we're racing on a track, we're going really, really fast a lot. I wanted to silicone them on, make sure they weren't going to come off. So they're definitely not going to come off. Luckily, I don't really care about the paint that much because it probably is going to mess up the paint if we ever try to peel them off, but whatever.
One more for the gram.
Dude.
Gotta bleep that out.
Yeah, sorry.
Dude.
So, the last thing we're going to end it off with tonight is the wheels and tires. Now, one thing I will say, we have changed a lot in terms of suspension setup as well, but we have changed so much in terms of suspension that I kind of want to wait and make an entire video about that and have it be its own thing, because there's a lot of suspension stuff to talk about on this car. And the companies that are involved and the people who set it up over at Limit Plus One, like, they did, when I say they did such an amazing job setting this car up, like, it's crazy. This thing sticks more than you would ever imagine. So look forward to an entire video all about suspension. We will have professionals who actually know what they're talking about to explain it to you guys, because I am not that person. But one thing I can talk to you about is wheels and tires, because a big thing with wheels and tires is the wheels, you want them to be light so that you get rid of as much centrifugal or rotational mass as possible. And then tires, you want them to be sticky. Biggest thing with wheels too, I wanted them to look good, right? And I think we hit it right on the money when it comes to these Advans. These are actually the Advans that I was running on the GR Corolla in the past, but we repowder coated them white, and I think that was one of the greatest calls of all time. For tires, we are using some Bridgestone Potenza RE71 RSs. That was purely a tire recommendation from the guys over at Limit Plus One, also the guys over at Annex. We all kind of were just like, and we're gonna use these. But our number over here is 43. If you guys have been a part of the channel since the beginning, you know that we actually bought this car to build it for Gymkhana Grid. Now, because we're only doing like 1 or 2 races this year, I kind of wanted to do something special with the number 43, because when I was going on Grid Life's website and I had the drop-down box to pick a number, the only 2-digit number left to pick was 43. So it was the first number right at the top. And I opened that drop box and I was like, like, how do you not pick that? And then I also thought, but there's a reason that nobody picks it. But then at the same time, I was like, dude, who cares? We literally were building this car to compete in an event in his memory. We're gonna run the freaking number. We're only gonna do it for like 2 or 3 events, and then next year, we're gonna have our number 711 from the rally cars, but it's super awesome. I feel very privileged. I have talked to a lot of people that were around Ken, and they all said the same exact thing. Make sure that the number on the car lives up to Ken's legacy, and hopefully the donuts and stuff that we've been doing have been doing that, as well as the performance that we're going to give at Laguna. And of course, we're going to have to send it off in some crazy way at the end of the year when we take the number plates off. A couple videos ago, we made a video talking about it with the hydraulic handbrake, as well as the Alcone 6-piston brakes and the cool rotor setup that we have. I had so many people kind of say, hey, you guys shouldn't have removed the ABS module. Hey, you guys should keep the power brakes. Hey, you should do this, you should do that. When I was on track, these brakes were freaking sweet. I loved them. They felt so good and so consistent. And mind you, I never drove the car really that hard with the ABS. I pushed the stock brakes, yes, but I never really pushed them on a track. I just pushed them in our parking lot, right? So you don't really get the full gist. But I gotta tell you, if you're building a race car and you want GR Corolla, building a race car, whatever, these Alcone 6-piston brakes, they are freaking fire, dude. They're so sick. And dang,
Bro,
that guy
why
just
is
went,
why is something always happening when we're
that guy just
recording?
went, but seriously, you guys got any questions, always feel free, leave them down in the comments. Tomorrow, we are driving from Denver to Utah. I don't really know where in Utah. I think it's someplace called Richfield or something. It's about 7-8 hour drive. If you guys are in LA, SoCal, anywhere, San Diego, LA, anything, September 22nd, I think it's a Sunday, Irvine Hills, California, there's a GRC anniversary meet. This car will be there no matter if it's running or not. You guys should come out and check it out. With that, this video is officially over. We will see you guys tomorrow for day number 5 of daily videos on our way out to California. I appreciate the support as always. And as always, and as always, and as always, and as always, we will see you guys tomorrow. Peace!